Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Casey. I'm here with my friend James, who also has a YouTube channel.
Hey guys, my name's James. I run a channel on YouTube called Jimmy Eats Brains, where we talk about creepy stuff.
So today we're going to be talking about Ford versus Ferrari. James messaged me recently and was like, I just realized that you have a YouTube channel and I also have a YouTube channel, so I feel like we should do something together, and I also thought it was a great idea. And I told him that I was seeing Ford versus Ferrari last night, and he was like, oh my god, I'll go see that too, so we can make a video for it tomorrow. So yeah, you want to explain what happened?
Yeah, so I was really busy yesterday, basically sleeping from putting out my video from a couple days ago. And I got up really late and I decided to go see Ford vs. Ferrari at 9:45. And I got my snacks, I got into the theater, and I was kind of pretty tired. And about 45 minutes into the movie, I pass out, like, uncontrollably, like, scary pass out. And the funniest thing about it is there was these two super nice kids that were sitting next to me, these, like, 19-year-old kids, and they were just, like, obviously not really into the movie. I don't think they were, like, texting and stuff during the 45 minutes that I was awake for. And they kind of took fun in, like, waking me up throughout the movie and trying to keep me awake. And eventually, at the end of the movie, they came over to me and they got up in front of me and they were like, hey dude, the movie's over. And I'm literally there, like, drenched in my own sweat, passed out, like, hard asleep, dude. And I'm just like,
Oh,
I'm going back to bed for a minute and then I'm going to call my mom and ask her to come pick me up.
I don't think that's ever, like, I've dozed off a couple of times at movies, but I don't think I've ever, like,
Dude,
hardcore fallen asleep.
I've never been woken up during a movie or, like, fallen asleep once during a movie and then woken up and then stayed falling asleep for the rest of the movie. Like, I was out. Like, there was nothing getting me up through that movie.
Oh my god. So
Yeah.
awesome. So that's what happened to him. I saw it at like 6, so I was awake for the whole thing. So
thank God, so we could get this video out, dude. Praise the Lord that Casey's a responsible adult and can stay up to 11.
Alright, so let's just get into it. Just for a heads up, it's going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen it and are planning on seeing it, shut this video off right now, because you don't want to find out what happens without seeing the movie. It was directed by James Mangold. I'm not super familiar with a lot of his stuff, but I mean, I enjoyed the movie a lot. And it was starring Christian Bale, who is, I'm literally just a big fan. Christian Bale is amazing. And Matt Damon. Going into it, I was excited to see it because of the cast. Like, those are two big names, and I enjoy all of their movies. I don't think there's very few movies that they starred in that I didn't enjoy. So I was excited about it. The trailer, I go to the movies constantly, so I've been seeing trailers for it a lot over the last couple months, and the trailer made it seem like a super feel-good movie, and I feel like everyone needs those in their lives every once in a while. So yeah, going into it, I was excited. So basically the storyline is Matt Damon's character, it starts out, Matt Damon's character is like doing this big race called the Le Mans in France, I think.
I didn't look it up.
I think it's France that
We looked up the name.
this big race is happening in France, and it's like a 24-hour race, like constant, so it goes through the night and everything. And that opening scene was really good. It had Matt Damon driving the car, and it was like shot amazing.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed a lot of the cinematography in the 45 minutes that I was alive during this film. Dude, you're right. Was it just the opening shot? I feel like there was a flashback of it too.
They probably did it a couple times.
Of like the black road when Matt Damon was doing the race originally?
Yeah.
When he won
Yeah.
it?
Yep.
Yeah. It was
And it
just
was like wet, so it was like slick looking.
Yeah, and I feel like because like the inner like movie geek in me totally knew that from the way that the camera angle was and like the shot was taken, that he wasn't going to get into a car accident. Like, he wasn't going to wreck. You can totally tell in modern movies when a car is going to get wrecked in a movie, when somebody's going to get hit, because the way that it is shot. But the way that the lighting, the way that the fog in it was like so creepy.
Yeah.
It had this like weird way of genuinely tricking you into thinking, oh shit.
It was trippy.
he might go splat.
It was hard to watch. Like, he was driving, and you could tell that he was, like, losing focus. And so, like, it would get kind of foggy on the sides.
Yeah.
It was, like, it was kind of scary. They tricked you into thinking, like, something was going to happen.
And they really captured that feeling of when you're, like, super tired at night and you're driving and you're like, I got this, I got this, I got this,
and then your eyes are, like, shut.
This. And it's just like, you hopefully that doesn't actually happen, but that's what you feel like could happen. And it literally captured that so well. That was, like, one of my favorite scenes of the 45 minutes I was awake during this movie.
It was a good scene, even though it was the first 5 minutes, but it was a good one.
Yeah, I gave it a good rating for that.
So I think it's a really good, it was like a big like underdog story, I feel. It started out, so the Ford car company was feeling like they were gonna just kind of die off, like they weren't reaching the highest market that they could be reaching. They wanted to try and like branch out and do something new and big to keep the company relevant. So they wanted to merge with Ferrari to try and make a race car together, because Ferrari was doing like all that high tech stuff.
Yeah, they had like, I don't think they had like released product that was currently beating them, but it was like they
like on the rise.
Yeah, the Ford in the future, it was gonna prove that they were probably going to be surpassed like mechanically.
Yeah, like they probably did out all like the statistics and everything, and were like, we're gonna be like a nobody in a few years.
Big corporation analytics that normal people like me don't understand, so I just nod and go, makes sense.
Yeah. So they tried to merge with Ferrari. They went out and like met with him, the guy that runs it, and he turned them down. So the Ford company ended up meeting with the Shelby Car Corporation, who Matt Damon plays this character, and he owns this car company that makes like specialty race cars. So they decided to merge with him to make a race car, and they wanted to race it in the Le Mans again, and have Ford have a race car that wins this race. And Matt Damon's character is friends with Christian Bale's character, and Matt Damon wanted him to be the head racer for this Ford race car that they were going to make. And he ends up racing in the Le Mans towards the end of the movie, and he makes it through the whole race. They get breaks, they switch off racers. I don't know if you were awake for this part, but they do like 4 hours of one driver, and then they come off and a new driver goes in. No, you missed that. So he primarily did everything that he was supposed to do, and he finished out the whole race. And the head of Ford, Henry Ford II, the guy that played him, ended up making Christian Bale's character slow down so that they could have all three Ford racers cross the finish line together for like a photo finish. He ended up slowing down, crossed the finish line, went through this whole 24-hour race, didn't crash, didn't injure himself. So here you are thinking like, oh my God, like this movie finally a movie with a happy ending, like it was great.
Yeah.
And then that whole scene ends, and then they go to this next scene where Christian Bale, Matt Damon, and Christian Bale's son are out like in this desert, and they just have like a camper, and he's like testing out another car, and he's riding around this long stretch of road. The brakes locked up, and he ends up crashing the car into a bunch of rocks, and it blows up, and he dies. Christian Bale literally died. They make it seem like it was this big crazy thing that he finally made it through this whole race with nothing happening, and throughout the race they made it seem like you were on edge, like on the edge of your seat, feeling like he was going to crash and he probably was going to end up dying in this race, and he didn't. And then it was like a literally trick happy ending.
Did you think it was well done? Like, do you think that because you were so invested in the idea that he was going to win the race and everything was going to be fine, and then it wasn't what you planned, did that like take away from your experience, or were you like, oh, I like this movie even more now because I
like
totally
the element of surprise?
Yeah, you know how sometimes in a movie when a character dies at the end, you're kind of low key like, that's how it was gonna end.
I saw it coming.
But like, you appreciate it for how the character died, kind of.
Okay, now that you put it that way.
Like, did he get a payoff?
I could definitely.
This is something I talk about a lot in my movies, in my videos, because I kind of go over like whether the violence against women or against people of different color in movies is justified in horror because they get a good payoff. So that's kind of like why I'm curious about your opinion from that aspect.
now that you put it that way, like, I knew he was gonna die, but the way that he had it, they had him die was like a good. I feel like it was good that they had his character finish out the race, and it was like, oh yay, Christian Bale, he did what he was supposed to do, and you're really happy for him.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it was almost like they had his character feel like he did what he was supposed to do, and like he was super grateful for that, so now he could like die and it's fine. Like, it's no big deal.
That's exactly what I was.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, as you guys know, I fell asleep during the ending of the movie, so I'm hearing it all from Casey. But she earlier described that you were kind of mad about the ending.
Yes.
But when you describe it, you don't really. You kind of sound like you like it because you're like they put him out in the desert with his family after he had won the race, like. And that kind of sounds like a payoff to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does, like, what do you think the racer that, like, super edgy racer was going to live at the end?
It was almost like he did what he was, like, destined to do, and he completed it, and he probably got, like, a big sum of money for it, and that made it so, like, his wife and his son were going to be set for the rest of their life. So he felt like he could just leave the earth and it would be fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely know where you're coming from, and I feel like that might be true. Like, though it kind of felt shitty that, like, he did this race and that's so great, and then they kill him, like, why would they do that? But it also is, it was like, okay. It was okay that he died. Trick happy endings are always tough. It's a weird thing. I feel like it doesn't happen a lot.
I feel like they frustrate you when you first see them, but when they settle with you, like,
the more you think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I liked it a lot. It was going into what I thought it was going to be one of those feel-good movies, and it definitely was.
Yeah, no, from the 45 minutes that I saw of it, it definitely was a really good feel-good movie. I really enjoyed the cinematography in it, like I explained. Matt Damon and Christian Bale did great jobs. Their characters were, like, really deep. You really felt like you knew them. You said that about the trailer, that I don't know if you mentioned it or not, was that you said that you both, after watching the trailer, you really liked their characters.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely was something that shone through when I watched it, was that they were just, like, both two really realistic but, like, also likable characters, and it made watching a story about them, like, even though he died, kind of not be a sad story. It was, like, how you said, a feel-good kind of film.
For sure. He died, but it was still feel-good. Like, it wasn't, you, like, couldn't help but feel happy even though he died.
Wait, who did you see this with?
I saw this with my friend Dakota, who is also a big movie buff. He goes to the movies, like, by himself all the time and sees all kinds of movies. He sees big popular movies and ones that are, like, indie, not super popular.
Oh, cool. Sounds cool.
Yep. He,
Did you tell him to check out our channel?
I definitely will. So I saw it with him and then my friend Logan, and they both really liked it too. So, side note, the guy from Pretty Little Liars, Ezra Fitz, was in this movie, and I know James and I both were, like, big Pretty Little Liars fans back in high school.
You can't out me like that, dude. What? This is edited out. Edit this out, editor James. Do not put this on public.
Anyways, he had a part, he played in this movie as one of the big, like, Ford execs that wears a suit and travels to all these meetings and stuff, but, like, had one line the entire movie. Dude, but, like, you just kept on seeing him in the background.
He played true to his Ezra Miller character, just being creepy in the background.
Yes. Yep, Ezra was...
Yeah, for people who didn't watch it. I mean, at the beginning.
Was he actually A, or was he just, like,
dude,
a creep?
That show's still coming out with seasons.
It's Pretty Little Liars The Perfectionist. It's a spin-off.
You are way more...
I don't watch it. I don't watch it.
She doesn't watch it, though, guys. She just knows the name and that it's a spin-off. Not a continuation, dude.
It's Mona's character and Allison, who are still in this current one, but then the rest of the cast is different. I hear it's supposed to be really good, but...
Don't go watch that, guys. Go watch Ford vs. Ferrari.
Yeah, go check out Ford vs. Ferrari.
Yep.
Really good movie.
What do you give for a rating? I always on my channel.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. So if I was to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, I would probably give it like an 8. Because, as James said, the cinematography was really good, the acting was really good, and it stayed true to what the trailer made it look like. It was a feel-good movie. And since I'm someone that goes to the movies constantly, I think this is like the type of movie that you could see with, like, anybody. Like, I would go and see it with my dad, who is, like, the main person I usually see movies with. I'd go see it with him. I saw it with my friends last night. You could see it with, like, your family. You could see it with your friends. It's one of those movies that you could just go and see it with anybody.
This is, like, a really good movie. I go to the movies sometimes with my parents and stuff, This is a really good movie to like take your parents out to. If
Yeah.
it's like your dad's birthday or like your grandpa's birthday.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Or like your older brother's birthday, any older male you know that
Yeah.
like might like cars. Or
Even if you don't like cars.
Yeah,
I don't like. I'm not
or
a big
Batman,
car person.
or
Right. If you're
Bourne
a big
Ultimatum.
yeah, if
if
you're
you
a
like
big
any
the
of those
Bourne
things.
series or the Dark Knight as
Literally.
Christian Bale as Batman.
If you are a 25-year-old male, this movie was marketed for you.
Thanks for watching, guys. Big shout out to James from Jimmy Eats Brains. Go check out his YouTube channel. Subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time.
See you later, guys. Okay, that wasn't that bad.
I don't think so.